Hello, in this video I'm going to discuss a very important aspect of design, which is pest management, and specifically mosquitoes. So we're going to go through why it's important, what you can do about it, and finally I'm going to end with a project that you can do today to start managing mosquitoes in your own yard. So stick around to the end. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Jacob Lindquist, the owner of Naturalized Design, and I help suburban homeowners convert their grass lawns into native plant gardens. So why is it important to manage pests? Most importantly, it is because of the disease they spread. So mosquitoes spread all kinds of disease. One of the top ones, the most well-known, is malaria. Not a whole lot of fun. But there's all sorts of other diseases that they're spreading, and as it's becoming warmer and more humid, it's becoming more common. As they're able to live longer because of the increased heat and humidity, they have more opportunities to spread disease, and we're starting to see that play out more and more as diseases that kind of used to be limited to kind of the Caribbean and kind of Central America and just kind of that whole belt, they're starting to move north. And that's not good for anybody. In addition to that, they're just annoying. There's nothing worse than sitting out and just getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And the less pleasant it is for you to spend time outside, the less time you're going to spend outside. It's just that simple. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of you creating your native garden. It's supposed to be somewhere for you to spend outside, kind of with your family, with your friends, enjoying it. That's hard to do when you're just being attacked by mosquitoes the whole time. Now let's transition to what you can do. The easiest, fastest solution is chemicals. Unfortunately, that's why they're so common. But I would like to strongly encourage you to avoid the chemicals to whatever extent you can, and as much as possible. In my own yard, I don't use them at all, aside from glyphosate and Roundup when I'm first creating a garden. And the reason for that is because, when it comes to pest management chemicals, it's kind of a scorched earth solution. You're not just killing the mosquitoes, you're killing the bees, you're killing the butterflies, you're killing the caterpillars. And that's, again, kind of defeating the whole goal of the native plant garden. Those are all the things you're trying to support. And so by going after this one pest, you're having huge detrimental effects to all of these unintended bystanders. And kind of in addition to that, you know, the, we're learning more and more that all of these chemicals are really harming us and our environment. And so for all those reasons, we really want to stop just reaching for the chemicals because they're the fast and easy solution. There's other things that we can do, and the chemicals really need to be a last resort. So what can we do if we're taking chemicals off the table? So one thing that's really kind of direct is to do citronella candles, tiki torches. So there's all these kits online. My wife and I did this one where we convert old bottles into citronella candles. We can put those out around our garden as we're enjoying it. And it not only creates some ambiance just from the fire, but it also does help to keep the mosquitoes away. Another thing you can do that probably already fits your goals if you're watching this is to create environments for birds. Birds eat mosquitoes. So as you plant trees and shrubs and other things that support the birds, a byproduct of that is they're going to be eating mosquitoes as well. One that I really like, but kind of freaks some people out, is actually bats. So you can put bat houses around your property, and those will attract bats, and bats eat a lot of mosquitoes. Now, bats kind of freak people out. A lot of that is just kind of pop culture. But a lot of people also have very bad experiences with bats getting into their house. Now, bats don't want to be in your house. They got in probably because they were confused or because they had no other option. And so by creating environments for them outside your house, you're actually helping to manage that as well. So you're keeping them out of your house because they have somewhere they'd rather be, and then they're eating mosquitoes while they're at it, which is a win-win if you ask me. Another thing that is very important kind of as you're designing and working on your yard and garden is to eliminate anywhere that you have standing water on your property. Standing water is what mosquitoes need in order to breed. And so they, as you eliminate those locations, you'll eliminate those opportunities for the mosquitoes to breed. You'll start cutting down on the populations. So that is definitely an important part as you're doing your yard work, as you're converting your lawn. Get rid of that standing water wherever you can. Finally, and kind of what I've found to be the most effective solution and the project that you can do today is to go out and get some mosquito dunks and then use these to create a bucket of doom. Now I've got some links down in the description below if you'd like to go to an affiliated link and kind of support the channel in that way. You can find these in a lot of places. This is actually a very popular project right now because it works so well. So what you do is you take one of these. You can use a half of one. You don't need to use a whole one. And you just put it in a bucket. I like black and brown buckets because they're easier to hide. You can also dig them into the ground and put them down so that they're less visible. Um, it's kind of up to you and kind of what makes them the least conspicuous, because having a bunch of 5-gallon buckets around your property isn't exactly the most adorable. But if you put them in the ground, they're not bad. So you take the bucket, you put in a bunch of leaf litter and water, you put in one of the mosquito dunks, and then I like to put chicken wire on top, mostly because I have a toddler, and if I put anything in the yard that I don't want him to get into, that's immediately what he's running for. So the chicken wire is great. You can spray paint it black so it kind of disappears. And then it just keeps anything that you don't want in the bucket out of the bucket. So you put that around your property. There's kind of different recommendations for them. I personally like to do 2, kind of immediately around our main patio area, just to kind of attract and eliminate those mosquitoes. And that is something that you can do to help start controlling the mosquitoes in your own yard. So I hope this video is helpful. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. That's obviously a huge help to the channel. And if you found this tip helpful and you kind of like more, guidance and advice as you start to design your own yard, I've got a free guide available on my website, linked in the description below. So that's available to you if you're not quite at the point where you're ready to hire a designer, but you do want to be more confident in the designs you're creating for your own yard and garden. That's something I put together that will hopefully help.